taking sponsors as a content creator.
Oh my
spicy,
God.
spicy. Nobody?
What?
Look at Gerard is just depressed right now.
this
Look, he's emailing his agent like, just go ahead and cancel all our sponsors now. It's going out the door. Oh, dang it. I wanted to keep going and embarrass
I'm
you.
good.
Okay.
So the topic.
Oh, no. So listen, Gerard. Here we go. All right. Content creator to content creator.
Yeah.
Take sponsorships all the time. Love them. I'll come out the gate saying, I have no problem doing them.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep.
There's a lot of hate for sponsors. Mm-hmm. Where in your brain is like your guideline of a sponsor comes in as a human, as a businessman, as a person who respects your community? What's like your, okay, I'm okay doing with this, and where's your like, oh no, I'm not doing that? And if it's strictly money, go ahead and tell us. Like, we don't care. Ruin your career here. Just kidding.
Drastic.
Already out the gate. Let's just get canceled.
And if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to.
I will plead the fifth, and that's the end of the podcast. No, I think this. Okay, so there is no money on YouTube. There is no money on YouTube. In fact, literally today, there was a report that came out that YouTube violated its own ad policies for its partners, and so it owes 80% refunds to a majority of its partners for the last 3 years.
Holy moly, how much money is in that?
I have to say, I probably within the billions, depending on how they liquidate this thing. But
Absolutely.
we might be on the verge of another adpocalypse in our fifth one, if you will, in the last decade or so. So get ready, boys. Those sponsorships are coming.
It's nice knowing you guys.
I think it's important to understand that if you like a content creator and you want to see them succeed, the sponsorships are a necessary evil.
Yes.
Patreon keeps the lights on.
Yes.
But very few people can use Patreon as a means of using it as a income platform.
Got it.
I feel like there's a select few folks who figured it out. People like Kind of Funny. They have several verticals of Patreon that keeps their lights up and more. Keep their lights on rather and more. But they still do sponsorships.
Got it.
Sponsorships are a necessary evil because the reality is one sponsorship can pay for about 3 to 5 months of one content creator's entire income on YouTube. Depending on the sponsor, depending on the amount.
YouTube channel size, view count.
YouTube channel size,
they put
view
all
count.
that into there.
Yeah, and truth be told, a lot of the sponsors, they don't do their homework. They really don't. They take your name. Well, okay, so this is like the insider baseball of how, because I know you guys probably don't really know the true essence of how a brand deal usually works. Yeah. But this is how it works. We'll get random emails from a random company. Yep. It's not even the company that is the one asking for the sponsorship. It is a company that is a conglomerate of brands. So it's like, I'm making the names up. It's like, hi, my name is Kathy from VidUp.
Yep.
And we represent 3,000 clients. These 3,000 clients range from Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, etc. And they have asked us to work with you because we like your content and we want to pay you to do a sponsored thing with one of our brands. So on the outside, you're like, hey, that sounds sick. A company that works with these companies I want to work with. They like what I do. Cool. And they're willing to pay me for it. That's awesome. In actuality, what has happened is that one of the companies they worked with pays them a quarterly or yearly budget for marketing. That company, VidUp, that we're making up, could be getting $10 million from any of these companies. It is their goal to not spend $10 million on influencer marketing.
Yes.
It is their goal to pocket as much of it as they can to ensure that whatever they don't spend, they get to keep at the end of the year.
Yes.
And that's how they make their money. Yep. So when you are negotiating, YouTuber out there listening to this, if you are, or Twitch or TikToker, you're negotiating with a company like that. You're not actually negotiating with Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft or Raid Shadow Legends or even Genshin Impact. You are arguing with a company that's already been paid, that has an allotted slot of budget, and they're trying to get people to do this thing. So if a company comes to you and says, we want to pay you $5,000 to do it, and you say no, if they come back and say, what is the number that will make you say yes? That is a huge red flag, because it means that they're willing to spend more of that magical pot of money to get you to do the sponsor. So in this case, let's just say it's Raid Shadow Legends. I have burned my bridge with them because I've criticized them and how they do stuff. So I'm never going to work with them.
Did you ever do one?
I did one.
Me too. Just one.
I did one.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare and never again.
I have to admit it was.
Yeah. Well, again, because you're dealing with media companies. You're dealing with a company that represents the game company in a different country, as well as the game company, and then the company here that represents them. So there's like two middlemen in between you and that company. So from there, you said, I don't want to do this deal for $5,000. And they said, what is the number? And you look at it and you have to take the good and the bad. What type of integration is it? Is it a dedicated video?
Yep.
Or is it a sponsored shout out? Sponsored shout outs, in my opinion, are the best brand deals ever. Because all you have to do is say, hey, this video is brought to you by this brand.
Yep.
We're going to take 90 seconds out of this 45-minute video or 50-minute video to talk to you about the brand. Use it or not, doesn't matter. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Simple. The problem I have, and I do these videos often and I hate them, but it's the kind of money that you have to say yes to because
it's a
you
reality.
have a business.
It's a reality.
You have overhead. You've got employees.
And you're not being selfish by doing so, because I see a lot of people be like, hey, you're selfish. You just are trying to make, it's like, no, you are the opposite of selfish because you have employees that work for you. You want to make sure they're fed.
I have
and their
20
families.
people that work for the Completionist brand total, whether it's for my merchandise, whether it's for the Completionist channel, the Super Beard Brothers channel. I do marketing and services and management of other content creators who can't afford a CPA or need help with contracts. I do merch for other creators. Like my business isn't just fat guy with beard completes games anymore.
Sexy guy.
Sexy fat guy with a beard.
Just sexy guy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Got you, bro.
But that part of my brand is no longer just the sole focus.
Yeah.
It's kind of this whole thing. And so when a company comes to me and says, we're going to pay you $1,000 to talk about our mobile game, I always will say no, because the amount has to be higher. If you want to pay, you can take that $1,000 and give it to a lot of smaller creators who can use that money. $1,000 is a lot of money.
Yep.
But when a company comes to me and wants to pay me $1,000, that's one slot. That's one video that I am selling to them to sponsor, versus another company that can come along and say, we'll pay you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 for that slot. And so you have to view your content as opportunities to sell to the brands. Yep. And so that's kind of how I've always seen it. So if a company comes along and they say, we want to pay you a bunch of money, I go, I'm all out of inventory, because that's usually true. If you want me to create inventory, create a video just for you, you have to pay a minimum, because you're asking me to create content out of thin air, to stop everything I'm doing to create a piece of content just for your sponsorship. And that requires man hours and research and execution, and more importantly, a good understanding of what your product is. Because you're asking me to not do, it's like when I go to conventions. I ask for a payment to go to conventions, not because I don't want to go, because you're pulling me away from my family, you're pulling me away from completing games, you're pulling me away from my job to go to your city or country for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's time I could be doing other things. That's time
literally, my brother is down here right now. We had this conversation because he made a joke. He just kind of showed up from Oregon. He's down, hanging out with his kids, doing his thing. And he knows what I do for a living, that I do so many different things, that I'm, pursuing so many different avenues of income.
Yeah.
He made the joke when we hung out for 3 hours. He was leaving. He's like, all right, how much do I owe you?
Yeah.
But as a joke, because he's like, I know that you could have spent the last 3 hours editing, working on the expo, working at this job, working at this. That is real money.
Yeah.
So that makes sense for you saying, yes, you are literally pulling you away from making money.
Yeah.
So it is money that has to be made during that time.
Yeah.
Your time is valuable.
Right.
It's the most valuable thing you have.
Well, and if you're a person, get rid of the content creation game, the Twitch game, you are a person that is being asked to make a thing or do a job. You should get paid.
Absolutely.
Like, it's simple.
The internet doesn't get that, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the internet, not everybody.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in for a second and just ask a question? I'm not a content creator like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
so I don't know all the algorithms behind and everything. To me, what it sounds like is like you're on the platform YouTube. That's your main part, right?
Yeah.
To me, it sounds crazy that you, as the content creator, are having to go out and find the sponsors, or not that you're even finding them, they're coming to you. To me, it feels like YouTube being the platform should be the one where they're supplying that. And I know they do. I know you have ads through them and stuff, but it still seems crazy to me. I guess I would put it as comparison to say it's a news channel, right? And like the anchor on the news channel having to go find like the commercials, right?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't expect that. You would expect CNN or CBC, whatever, CBS to be doing that for them. So it sounds crazy to me that you're actually having to do that.
Well, you're not that far off, but the true problem of YouTube as a whole is that anyone can use YouTube. The American
Called YouTube.
Yeah, the American dream of YouTube is that you too can become a content creator. You don't have to put any money in. You can just take out your phone, make content you want to make, and you can be the star. But as a user, you're not guaranteed income. You're not guaranteed to make money on these ads.
Nope.
And so it's a service. It's a system that you participate in. So for every, let's say, 100,000 creators that exist who are making content all the time, there's hundreds of millions of people who are watching that content, which means there's an ad shortage. There's not enough ads to play on every single video that exists on YouTube.
Which is why a lot of people will see the same ads over and over and over and over on different multiple accounts. Like, dude, I'm so tired of seeing this dang ad.
Right, and it's also targeted ads too. So, are you a 25 to 35-year-old guy who likes beer? Great, you're going to get the Pabst ads or the Coors Lights ads or whatever it may be, right? If you are into mountain biking, you're going to get those REI ads or Helmet Company or whatever. And those ads are targeted based off of your cookies and how you use the internet. So they're targeted ads. At the same time, if you look in your analytics, like most people do, there's a thing that says fill rate, which is the number that determines how many ads of your views actually get sponsorships. And for most content creators, depending on your MCN or how you do business, the fill rate's like 30 to 40%. So if you have a 1 million viewed video, 1 million views, sounds like a lot, right? Great. Out of 1 million views, less than 40% of those views have ads on them. It could be because of ad blocker, but majority of the time, it's because YouTube did not get enough ads to give to you in your video. And so a majority of your views go unmonetized. So enter the sponsor, enter Patreon, enter memberships, enter merchandise, things like whatnot. These are all things that you use to supplement the income, and which in turn become a part of your business and take away from the thing you actually love doing, which is creating.
Well, it's any form of entertainment, right? Like we've talked about this before on the podcast. You watch TV. That back in the day, we all watch. If anything, we loved the commercials as a kids, right?
Right.
You're just watching sponsors. You're just watching ads.
Well, because back in the day, it was all about those 80s, 70s, 90s chimes. They played that tune in your head and it stuck with you.
You remember the Jack Stefanovich, 80 Do, the I Can't Take That Ride. That's who. You remember those things. It's just now it's so weird that YouTube got so personalized, which is a good thing, right? It's Gerard. It's the Gerard show. It's the Chris show, the Riff show. But so there was this weird thing in YouTube where when sponsors came in, it's not as bad now, but people just would be like, sell out, hate you, you suck, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I thought you liked my content. You watched because you like me. I can't imagine Chris's store doing really well. And all of a sudden, all these local companies want to support your store and give you all this money. And I'm like, what the heck, Chris? You're successful now? Screw you. Like, I don't understand. My brain doesn't understand. I saw what people do. I'd watch these videos sometimes, these people hating on people making money that literally doesn't affect them anyway. It doesn't hurt them. People complain like it ruined their life. They're like, oh, that ad was 2 minutes. I'm like, are you all right? You survive it? Like, that's it. Skip it. Move forward.
It definitely, but I don't know. As a viewer, I feel like it gives me comfort knowing that because I sat through a 2-minute ad that you got paid $30,000 for, that $30,000 is going to go to your kids, going to go to your wife, it's going to go to your family, go to your employees, your contractors. Like, it goes a long way. And to think that everything is free all the time is like, use ad blocker. I don't like. I'm comfortable if you use ad blocker. That's okay. I understand. If you're gonna pirate games, save the money. I completely.
You heard it here.
Don't.
Title of the video.
You know what?
We got our video title, boys.
Stop it.
FBI knock.
Damn it.
Open up.
Damn it. Damn it.
Got him.
Do what works for you. But if you're consuming something for free, and or at least give it back, right? Like buy a shirt,
Yeah.
Go to the convention. Say hi to the content creator. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to. If the ad is like too much for you,
Yeah.
there are other ways to support that content creator.
Yeah.
And maybe the ad's more than enough. I don't know.
You know who does it really funny? And I don't know why. I don't even watch this person ever. But for some reason, Dr. Disrespect, like, shorts started popping up on my feed.
Oh, he's the best.
And he is hilarious when he talks about money. Because he'll be like, people in the comments will be like, why are you guys giving money to a millionaire? And he's like, no, stop it. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. And I'm like, amazing. And then he'll do these big things. He's like, any money helps. Like, because someone donated like $2. And they're like, sorry, it's so cheap. And he's like, oh, dude, $2 means the world. $20 means the world. This all helps me so much. Get new interior on my Lamborghini. Thank you, guys. And I'm like, that is hilarious. He's just like, I don't care.
I mean, he's playing a character, so like that's okay to laugh at. But
yes.
But his brand is large, just like Gerard's is. So he has overhead, right? So he has to provide for these employees. He's a developer for games as well. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Like even Dr. Oh, my bad, Chris. Go for it.
Finish.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Chris just turned right. Chris tapped out. He's like,
Alpha.
I was just going to say, as an outsider looking at you guys discussing this, I didn't even realize that it was a problem. Obviously, as a user of YouTube, I watch, I see sponsorships and stuff. I personally don't ever have a problem with it. I assume, okay, you got paid to do this. Yeah. That's great for you. So I didn't realize that you guys were even having this, an issue like this, that people are against this.
The crazier thing is that there's like a hidden issue that people don't know about, and it's the issue amongst content creators who say yes and who says no. So for example, I get a lot of complaints with the brands I deal with that I am too expensive. They go, why would I spend X amount of money with you when I can get a content creator who's 300 times your size who will do it for $1,000? And I go, who's the content creator? And I go to the content creator and I go, why are you saying yes to this, you idiot? You need to be saying no and getting those prices up.
Know your worth.
Know your worth, because they're sharks and they smell blood in the water. Like, you have to understand that when a bigger content creator says yes to a deal and the amount is so low, it creates this weird scale. And there are brands out there that have market sheets. They know what content creators they're going to go with because they know what their prices are. And sometimes, like those companies I was talking about, those middleman PR companies, they will tell the brands they're working with, I can get you the completionist. I can get you the Pixel Game Squad.
That's a mistake.
But they won't even lock in what the price is. They'll just say, I can get them for you. I work with them. And then they come to the table and they go, okay, what will it take to get you to work with us? And it's like, you didn't even secure a deal and you said yes to something.
Yeah, I would reach out to like Caleb and Retro Rick when I would do deals, because we're, kind of, they're bigger, but on the same level of like what we do and our type of audience. And I'd straight up ask them, bro, how much you get for this? So I know how much to ask for this company, and I think sponsors are such a funny thing because there's so many that come in that it's a brutal thing sometimes on some of them that I said no to, who have offered me great money, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. I'll do something strange for a little change, I'll tell you that. Sure. But there's some where I'm like, dang it, a little bit too far out of my realm of feeling comfortable knowing that certain people are watching.
I try so hard to I always say to the brand, let me be weird.
Yes.
9 to 10 times they will say no.
Yeah.
But we just want you to
script
in your. That's the thing that drives me crazy, because it'll say, I did this recently for a brand and it's very obvious which one. They're like, here's the video I want you to make. Say exactly what we want you to say, but do it in your own voice. It's like,
okay,
what? Do it in my own voice? You gave me a script and said I have to follow the script, but you want me to do it in my own voice?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, well, just make sure you say everything. Don't deviate from the script, but say it in your own voice. Great. So I'm going to read the script that you gave me.
Sound like you enjoy this.
Right, exactly. Or even just say the thing I want you to say. And then later on, they'll come back to me and they go, that didn't do well. Why didn't it do well? And it's like, well, you didn't let me be in charge of the creative.
Yeah.
You made me say exactly what you wanted to say. And I didn't feel comfortable promoting this thing anymore because the creative juices that could have been are now gone.
Juices.
Whatever you need, whatever's in your head.
I got one last question on this. I just want to know, before you had this overhead, your team and all that stuff, when did you feel comfortable in knowing when to accept a sponsorship?
Oh man, so I was one of those YouTubers early on that took sponsorships that paid nothing when no one was doing it, and I got ridiculed for years about it. Used to call me the shillpletionist.
That word still gets thrown around quite a bit.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
YouTube, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my boy Ralph on our podcast, his name is Skill Up. He calls himself Shill Up because everyone says that he shills out to everything. But, you know, I'll tell you this. My first brand deal I ever did was for a energy company called Gung Ho Energy.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still around anymore, but they basically did like liquid energy packets.
Okay.
Almost like a
Vitamin
Liquid
C,
IV
emergency.
yeah. I'd say it's more like Go-Gurt, but like more jelly.
Well, that's not
what I mean. You know,
I'll take that one back.
they paid me $500.
And you were stoked.
I was stoked because I was 18 months into doing my YouTube career, and I had made $500 at that point. So I was like, "Oh, you want to pay me what I made in 18 months in one check? I will take that."
Yeah.
And people were mad, but that $500 allowed me to do so much more.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't until I think like 2015, 2016 when the real like YouTube money showed up.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to see the real snakes that were kind of active and how they negotiated. Yeah. And so I hired my brother to come in and be my CFO. And so if you're gonna mess with anyone, you're gonna have to talk to my brother, who's scary. My brother's like a muscular, scary version of me.
Snake
and
tamer.
So like if someone wants to come mess with me,
Racist joke. He said snake tamer.
oh, I get it.
Racist joke right there.
Yes, I'm very.
Right there.
I'm so.
I just hit
I'm
him
so offended. Let me get my snake charmer out real quick.
I would kill to see that, by the way. Straight up, dude. Straight up.
Yeah, you know, and again, if you're a YouTuber out there struggling to take the money, take it. Let everyone get mad, because for 5 minutes you're gonna get enough income that's gonna let you invest, protect, or do anything you need.
Yep.
You know what? I just I compare this a little bit to like being a reseller. You know, that's what I've scumbag. Yeah. So this was years ago. No.
Oh, so you're the scumbag they keep talking about.
I'm the leader of the scumbags. But when I initially opened my store, I was like, oh, I'm going to join this, get into the community.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell games. I'm part of it. And I was like kind of attacked. This is back in 2011, I think, around when you started doing YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was attacked as like, and it wasn't just me, it was other video game store owners as like, oh, you're a scumbag reseller. You're not one of us. And there was a period, I was like, what the heck? No, I'm like just selling games. And like, I love video games. And like, I do this as, for money. Yeah, but that doesn't make me a bad person. But it was because there was money involved that all of a sudden I was like a scumbag. That was the term that we were referred to as. So what we did collectively, and I remember this, there was a bunch of other video game store owners. We would, some from Ohio and other places, and at the conventions, because there's all stores there, they made scumbag reseller shirts. Yeah. And we just, and we adopted it as like, you know what?
We're friends with one of those guys.
Yeah, this is what we do. This is how we make a living. We're not bad people. This isn't bad. This is just, we have to get paid for what we do, know? And so we just adopted it. It's since kind of faded by the wayside now. But
driving up the prices.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Paving the way for us to snake right and drug
Normalize it.